Stasera ci devo giocare ad Apex.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen.
Quale dei tanti pazienti, zi? Questo?
What a blundering idiot.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
No. Ah, dentro la stanza,
Goodbye for
ok.
now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you
Perché non
later.
me lo segnala, scusa, se c'è la
Calm
medicina?
the children, Ellen. As for me,
This hospital seems to be...
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
Boh, parliamo un po' con la tipa, va, dato che ci siamo, metti che può servire.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Ok, zio. Buon lavoro.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Ok. Mi pare del suo arrivo.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
R2? Questo dici? O questo?
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
I have other...
Ah, RB. RB è questo. Qualità del sangue 2006. RT 4. RT. No, RT.
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
I have other concerns right now, Doctor. But I'm fine, thank you.
No, no.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Non posso fare domande personali.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Va bene, cura suo figlio.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
Ok.
I'll let you get some rest then.
I'm all right.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
Domande personali. No. Aspetta.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
Ma proprio questo non... Ok, capito.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but
Sì,
rest
sì, l'avevo
assured
capito,
you're in
però volevo
good
parlare
hands.
con lui un
It's not me
attimo.
you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized?
My mother...
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Minchia, mischino. Ma poveraccio, complessato questo. Ma che è? Non è personale. Ma è tutto bloccato.
Do you need any help?
Thank you, Dr. Reed, but you've done enough already. The rest is up to me now.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Un seghetto lì.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Good evening, sir.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the
Ora a
epidemic.
potenziarsi,
It was a relief.
lol.
Cheap.
I'm all right.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
È proprio stronza questa.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Ciao, antipatica.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Doctor. Sembra uno zombie. The zombie's wrong. Mi sa che continuerò a seguire solo la missione principale. Se devo fare tutte le missioni secondarie è un casino. Ma? Perché questo è rotto? Era rotto anche prima? Barriera di sangue. Barriera di sangue livello 2. Coagulazione. Blocca il sangue del bersaglio nelle sue vene, rendendolo indifeso. Difensive. Molla. Esegue una mossa soprannaturale verso il bersaglio e causi danni all'atterraggio. Attiva, esaurisci la tua energia per svanire nell'ombra. Questa mi sembra eccessiva, però. Sangue. Grande sete, aumenta il tuo assorbimento. Sì. Aumenta il tuo volume di sangue. Perché no? Scienza. Ora puoi trasportare 3 sieri. Ora aumenta il numero di proiettili che puoi portare. Aumenta la tua rigenerazione della vita quando usi il morso in combattimento. Aumenta il danno inflitto quando usi il morso in combattimento. Arr. Ok. Siamo forti. Eventi importanti del quartiere. Ogni notte delle tue azioni potrebbero migliorare e danneggiare lo status di salute del quartiere. Potrebbe deteriorarsi anche a causa di malattie che si diffondono tra i cittadini. I coglioni. Eventi importanti del quartiere. Ah. Quindi più uccido, più diventerà malo del quartiere. Se lo stato di salute di un quartiere scende al di sotto del limite critico, piomberà nel caos. Sta a te decidere il destino del quartiere. Me coglioni. Pembroke. Dottor Types. Quindi è qua fuori quello. I sieri. Chissà che cosa servono i sieri. Qua non ci posso andare. Non voglio parlare con quello là.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea, but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
It may seem strange, but your words have brought me some comfort here.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
Hmm.
Thank you. But I'd rather you didn't speak so lightly about my condition. There is nothing I find amusing about this situation.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not.
Ciao,
I would just
Gab.
like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for
Come
someone
stai? Tutto a posto, sì?
impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
Noi qua siamo dei vampiri. Ci piace andare in giro a mordere il collo della gente, zi. Tanti documenti qua. Se io ci parlo con
Do
lui,
you
no?
need...
Potrò fare delle domande?
I have just a few questions.
Then ask away. I'm at your service, Doctor.
The man we pursued and slew in the canning factory, William Bishop, I believe, was he a vampire?
He was a Skald, technically speaking. The debate rages as to their classification. Some think them a subspecies of vampire, others something else.
Forse così è meglio. Sì.
How do Skulls come into existence?
The name means slave. The etymology may indicate that they are a lesser species.
Nel canale sì, è
From
nuovo.
what I know, vampires tend to despise them.
C'è da... Penso che sia 2 anni fa che è uscito. Una cosa del genere, non mi ricordo, 3 anni fa. Ok. Ciao Gab.
Just for clarity, what differences are there between myself and a Skull?
A skull is easier to eliminate, Jonathan, even if they remain formidable foes for the unprepared. Vampires... Now, vampires exist beyond the mortal realm.
Since I'm the one working for you,
Well, for many years, we have been the only medical facility in this part of town that people can rely on. We support the community here, as well as provide health care.
What do you expect of me?
What we need is hope. You were a soldier. This is a war. This white coat's still a uniform. We fight to help the poor, the sick of the East End, the forgotten.
Where do we stand today?
Oh, to be honest, we cope on a day-to-day basis. The first wave of the Spanish flu last summer took us by surprise. We lack many of the basic necessities needed.
Prima necessità, ok. Riguardo la mia
Since you seem
condizione.
quite the
As men of...
The sun. The morning following my transformation. Its
vero.
rays burned me. There was pain, smoke, and my skin blackened.
You will find there is very little that can kill a vampire, my friend. You have been offered relative immortality. The sun will most certainly hurt you, leaving you weakened and damaged, but it will not destroy you.
Must I take a life to live?
You are a vampire. You feed, and blood is the sole sustenance that can sustain your immortal frame. And only a living creature contains the nourishment you require.
Figo.
You mentioned something about a secret society. A brotherhood, if I recall. Could you elaborate?
Certainly. I've been a member of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole for several years. We are pledged to monitor and report vampire activity in England as impartial scientific observers.
That explains your nightly wanderings about the docks and the questions you ask.
I feel it wasn't mere coincidence that led us to that part of town. There was something as yet unseen that set those chain of events in motion.
Ok.
Yet you don't fear me. And still, you know the monster that lurks beneath the civilized surface.
The Brotherhood has studied your kind for centuries. We believe you are as supernatural as a lion is to a gazelle.
Ok.
We'll see each other again soon, Edgar.
Andiamo. Ma sono tornato nella stanza, ho potenziato un paio di cose, ho parlato con col medico che troviamo all'inizio nel bar e adesso volevo andare un attimo fuori a parlare con il tizio, col medico che dovrebbe darci la chiave.
Goswicks came here in the first place.
Good evening, Nurse Brent.
Good evening.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett did. I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reed. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippett's in our situation?
Perhaps you did it with the best intentions, Nurse Brannigan, but you took a great risk. Must I remind you that a man died?
You mean you've never made a mistake? Never covered your tracks? Come on, Doctor. I wasn't born yesterday.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
E vuol dire che l'ammazzo.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough.
Minchia.
Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet lady of mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Have any of the patients given you trouble?
These poor souls have so little left to live for. I do my best to ease their pain.
Ok.
The world would be a better place if it were cared for by women like you.
You make me blush. I am simply a necessary evil.
Perché li ammazza?
Pardon my boldness, your ladyship, but I have questions concerning this condition we share.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for blood. But the questions need wait.
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first, prove yourself capable of resolving my predicament without eating the culprit.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
Ok.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
Di sangue a me, ok.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Ok. Ma che è? Un portatile? Questo è vivo o morto? Cioè, sia morto.